Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley. Today we've got large school predictions for the week of February 2nd. I think we should have some pretty fun games. There are some ones that are lacking, I must say. A lot of these games are actually Friday, which I'll get into as I put up the scoreboards. But right now, let's focus on last week's scores. Class 4 on your screen right now. As you see, there are two games that I don't have scores for. Vashon and Principia, I can tell you, did not happen. Vashon decided to cancel this game and cite safety concerns. And St. Charles and Holt, I think they just didn't put in their score. So, ADs, fix it. Fix it. Last warning. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm no tough guy. Orchard Farm loses at home to Clayton, 56-48. Clayton's listed at 10-1 on mission. Not certain how accurate that record is, but they're looking pretty solid this year. Nevada wins on court warming against Lamar, 70-57. Lamar's on a little bit of a slide. They're, I think, 2 straight losses now. They're going to need to pick it back up because we're getting pretty close to the playoffs, so you don't want to be on a cold streak going into the playoffs. Hickman wins on the road. Technically the road. They just kind of went across the town, across Columbia. They win 71-59 over Father Tolton. Father Tolton also another team on the slide, kind of making me think that Blair Oaks may have a little bit of potential there in the district. And, Hickman, they are, I believe, on a 5-game win streak, so they are looking pretty good right now. I think they were 9-5. Now they're sitting at 14-5. Big things coming for the Cupies, I believe. Richmond beats Lafayette County at home, 53-48. I was at that game. I did take Lafayette County. I did. I thought the Huskers could get it done. They couldn't quite get it. Richmond's looking like a really good basketball team this year. So I believe they're 13-3 right now. I like how Richmond is playing. I think they could make some noise in the playoffs. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to make the Final Four because I personally don't believe they could do that. But they're a really good basketball team. I do think that they could win a district championship. Class 5 scoreboard from this past week. Kearney beats St. Pius the 10th, 60-51. Kearney's now 12-5 on the season. St. Pius the 10th, 11-9. JC beats Rolla on a really nice Friday night hoops game, 63-61. I believe Ethan Brown for Rolla had like 31 points is what I was told. And, JC gets it done. They're 14-4. Rolla's 16-4. This is going to be a district championship rematch, and Rolla's hosting district. So we'll see if that score gets flipped. Right now, though, I'm still riding with JC. Ladue loses at home to Jackson, 70-64. Jackson is now 18-3 on the season. They're looking really good. They are receiving votes in Class 6. We will talk about them later. Westminster loses at home to John Burroughs, 46-61, 61-46. Westminster's 15-4. They're really good, but I kind of expect them to win that game. I'm surprised they didn't. Burroughs is 14-5 now. Vianney, you can't deny Luke Walsh. They win that one, 78-56 over SLU. SLU, another team that will not put in their scores. So let's get that fixed. Central Springfield wins over Willard, 71-50. Willard's kind of on a bad streak here. They're sitting at 9-10 now. That's not too pretty. We'll see what the end of the season has for them. Let's go to the Class 6 scoreboard. CBC lost 85-48 at home against Chaminade. Now, Chaminade, a lot of people think, is the number 1 team in the state. I personally don't believe that. I still think Oak Park's got a little bit of a leg up on them. But 85-48 over CBC is really impressive. Blue Springs loses at home to Lee Summit, 57-53. Blue Springs now 9-9. Lee Summit 12-6. Hazelwood Central loses 74-39 at home against DeSmet. Now, DeSmet's a really good basketball team, but putting up 39 points isn't the most beautiful thing. Glendale loses at home 68-56. Glendale now sitting at 9-7. Republic 16-3. They're looking pretty solid. They actually just lost to Helias this past weekend in the Bolivar Liberator Tournament Championship game. Grain Valley pulls off the upset over Raytown, 76-68. This is Raytown's third loss on the season. Grand Valley's 9-7. We'll see if they can string some stuff together here. Kickapoo absolutely dominated Webb City this past week, 80-37. That is a really good win for the Chiefs. They're 7-2 on the season now. Webb City is 10-9. So let's go ahead and get to this week. Hold on, let me pause for a second and remember what my record was in this past week. I've got it down on a little sheet of paper, so I'll be right back. All right, I got it right here. Small school, I told you guys on Tuesday that I went 12-3 in the small school predictions. I was wrong. I went 13-2, so I flipped it. I got one more than what I said. And in the large school, I went 12-4. This is good enough for a 25-6 overall record this past week. Hopefully I can do just as good this week. We'll see. There are some games that I think I'm pretty confident on. There are some games that I've got a feeling I picked the wrong team. But we will see. Let's go ahead and put the Class 4 scoreboard on your screen right now. We have 3 Friday night games to start off. I actually am not predicting a single game for tonight. Thursday night's a little lackluster. We do have Father Tolton and Oak Park tonight, but I try not to predict the same team twice in the same video, so I ended up choosing 2 different games for those guys. So we'll talk about Oak Park in Class 6. We'll talk about Father Tolton here in just a second. We have 2 games on the 10th, Richmond and Nevada, and on the 11th, Clayton versus MICDS. So for the Friday night matchups, I'll go ahead and cover those right now. East Newton versus Mount Vernon. I haven't really gotten the opportunity to talk about these teams. I don't know if I talked about either of these teams yet, but I do like Mount Vernon. They're a really good basketball team. They're not quite rankable, if that's even a word. I don't even think they're receiving votes right now. They're 52.7 points per game, allowing 48.9. They're 15-6 overall since 2009, since East Newton. I think the Mountaineers will win on the road. Tolton versus Battle. Now, Father Tolton, they have a 7-1 matchup history against Battle, but the same thing was kind of going for them against Hickman, and we saw how that went. I think Battle wins this one. They're 6th in Class 6. So I said 6th in Class 6. 6th in Class 6. They are 74.9 points per game. They are allowing 64.3, but the way Tolton's playing right now, I don't know if I'm too worried about that. I can't go any further than that. That's all I'll say there. But that is our Class 4 game of the week. Give me Battle in our Class 4 game of the week. Logan Rogersville versus Carl Junction. Logan Rogersville currently sits at 2nd in Class 4. They're playing really good ball right now, scoring 60.2 points per game. They are only allowing 37.7. This team's got insane defense, and I'm here for it. Give me the Wildcats. Richmond versus Harrisonville should be a pretty entertaining matchup. Obviously, I was just talking up Richmond, so give me the Spartans here at home. They are receiving votes in Class 4 right now, so you got something going on there. If some teams in the top 10 keep losing, you'll see Richmond in the rankings on Monday. I don't know if they will be. We'll see. I haven't really been keeping up with the scores as well lately, so I don't know if any of the lower top 10 teams have been losing. So we will see on Monday if they are ranked. They're scoring 64.2 points per game and allowing 47.2. Nevada versus the Aurora Hound Dogs. I think Nevada wins. Unfortunately, I love the Aurora mascot. The dog's not the cutest looking thing, but I really like the little banner underneath that says "Don't kick our dog." I think that's pretty funny. But I do want to take Nevada here. They're receiving votes in Class 4. They're scoring 52.7 points per game. They're allowing 45.5. That's a really good number. And they're at home. Give me the Tigers. Clayton versus MICDS. This is one I went really back and forth on. I like how MICDS is playing. I don't want to say they dominated JC when I got to see him play at JC back on January 3rd. It was a Friday night. That was my first impression of JC this season. I've now gotten to watch 3 Jays games, but the first impression wasn't very good of the Jays because MICDS, they controlled rebounding. I think that's going to be a really big thing. I don't know if they're still doing really good on the boards or if that was just a really good night. But it's kind of hard to deny Clayton right now. They're 10-1 listed on Misha. I don't necessarily know if that's 100% accurate. I think AD has probably left out a few games. But they're fourth in Class 4. They're scoring 69.4 points per game, and they're only allowing 48.9. I think the Greyhounds will get this one done. The Class 5 scoreboard is on your screen right now. Hillsboro, John Burroughs, and Parkview all host games on Friday night. Borgia hosts a game on the 10th, and then Kearney and JC will host on the 11th. So, Hillsboro and Festus, this is a really big rivalry, I believe. I think they're in the same county. I'm blanking on the county name. I'm sorry for that. If anybody knows that, please let me know. I think Hillsboro will win this one at home. They're scoring 53.4 points per game. That's not necessarily beautiful, but they're only allowing 48.7. And they have a 22-11 matchup history since 2009 against Festus. So they've won 66% of the games that they've played in the past, 16 years. So give me the Hawks. John Burroughs, the Bombers, they're playing Lutheran South. I believe John Burroughs wins this one. I don't know if I want to say easily, maybe handily. They're 8th in Class 5. They're scoring 62.1 points per game and allowing 50.8. Parkview, I believe they're dealing with some injuries. I don't know if those have been resolved yet, but I'm going to ride with them here. Carthage is a good basketball team, but Parkview is receiving votes in Class 5. They've got one of the hardest schedules in the state. So that's kind of why they're 10-9. Not only are they dealing with injuries, they've got an insane schedule. They're scoring 58.6 points per game and allowing 56.4. Borgia versus Montgomery County. Can't deny Montgomery County, They're second in Class 3. They're my state championship favorites. I feel like I say it every single time I talk about them. They're scoring 70.8 points per game and only allowing 40.6. That's an insane ratio, so I'm really enjoying how they're playing. Give me the Wildcats on the road. Kearney versus Winnetonka. Winnetonka is receiving votes in Class 5. I'm not too worried about that, though. I think Kearney will win this one at home. They're scoring 57.4 points per game. They're only allowing 44 points allowed per game. They're 20-7 in the matchup history since 2010 against the Winnetonka Griffins. JC versus Hickman is our Class 5 game of the week. I like how both of these teams are playing. Hickman's on a really good run right now. But it's JC, I can't really deny JC right now. I think they may have a Final Four run in them. They may be able to do it again. Honestly, they're 10th in Class 5 right now. They just knocked off the number 2 this past Friday, so they will be going up. I promise you that. They're scoring 64.1 points per game. The defense does need some work. They're allowing 58.2 points per game. I like the line to be below 50, but I'm not too worried about it. Give me the Jays at home. The Class 6 scoreboard is on your screen. So, as you see, we got some pretty good games this week in Class 6. 5 of these games, yes, you heard me right, 5 of them are on Friday. So, lots coming up. Tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day I put it out, Thursday. And Nixon and Kickapoo, the only one that's not Friday night, they play on the 11th. So, we'll start with CBC versus DeSmet. I think you guys know how much I like DeSmet if you've been watching. They're 3rd in Class 6. They're scoring 69.2 points per game and allowing 47.5. I got to watch these two play at DeSmet earlier on in the season. I believe it was December 20th, I think. And DeSmet won it. I think they'll win again. Chaminade versus Vianney. Chaminade won the first one. I think they'll win the second one. Luke Walsh is a great player, but I've been saying this the whole time. They got 7 losses because he can't do this alone. And Chaminade, they're playing really good as a team. They're scoring 69 points per game and allowing 52.6. Give me the Red Devils at home. Blue Springs South is playing Lee Summit North, a really nice rivalry up near the Kansas City area. I think Blue Springs South win this one at home. They're scoring 62.9 points per game and allowing 49.5. Jackson versus Webster Groves. This is going to be a really fun game. Jackson sitting at 18-3 currently. Webster Groves sitting at 9-3, listed on Misha. Scotty, when I talked to him, said they're a different record, a lot more games that they played in their AD. He's not putting in the games. I'm so happy about that. But I will take Jackson. The receiving votes in Class 6, I believe Webster is 5th in Class 5. I think they're 5th. Jackson's scoring 58.3 points per game. And they're allowing 48.3. Give me the Indians. Park Hill versus Oak Park. This is our Class 6 game of the week. This one's going to be fireworks. I like how both of these teams are playing. Right now, I believe Oak Park is the best team in the state. They're number 1 in Class 6 ranked currently. They're scoring 73.2 points per game. They're only allowing 54.9. I think this team led by Corbin Allen is going to go very far, potentially win a state championship. So give me Oak Park on Friday night. Nixa versus Kickapoo. This one was in the running for the Class 6 game of the week, but I don't know. I had a hard time choosing against Park Hill and Oak Park. Nixa, they are 7th in Class 6. Kickapoo is 4th in Class 6. I will take the lower ranked team though. Give me the Nixa Eagles. Both these teams actually are sitting at 17-2. They got the same exact record. I don't know. I like how Nix is playing this year. I think that continues. They're scoring 62.7 points per game, and they're only allowing 48.3. They're under that 50-point line. I really enjoy that. So give me Nixa with, I believe, what is a harder schedule. I won't go too far into that because I know the Kickapoo guys will probably dig up a lot on that. But outside looking in, Nix is kind of stacking those wins just like Kickapoo. I just kind of think that Nix has had a harder schedule. That's personal opinion. So I will take Nixa in this game. That's all we've got for today. I will be at Centralia Wrestling tonight. Should start at 5:30. It's an hour away, and I have work at 8:30. So I'm basically guaranteed that I have to leave. Get up and leave at 7:10. I can't stay. So whether it's done or not, gotta go. I'm really hoping that it's done by then. It might not. I was talking to Rex. He says it should be done. So I'm going to trust Rex. That's who I'm there for. And they are up against Brookfield. These are two really good wrestling teams. They've got a lot of really great wrestlers on both teams. So I'm excited for tonight. But that's all we got for this video. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. See you next time.